Hey folks, welcome back to the Trinity Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm the Reverend Jimmy Abbott, the priest here at historic Trinity Church on Galveston Island. Today we continue our reading through the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16. I want to share with you two stories from my own life. On my 18th birthday, I did two things. The first thing I did is I went and played the Texas lottery. I picked 3 out of 5 numbers right. I won $5 and I cashed out. I've stopped. I have not played the lottery since. I'm ahead. The second thing I did, of course, is that I signed up for the selective service, the draft. In this country, men, when they turn 18, are required to sign up for the draft. And I didn't really think anything of it, that this country might require me to suffer and perhaps even die in its service. But when we read that same responsibility in the Gospel of Matthew, it gives us pause that Jesus might require service, suffering, and death from us. See, what's happening is that Peter has just acclaimed Jesus as the Messiah, the Son of the living God, and then Jesus goes on to describe what that entails. That entails suffering, dying, and rising again on the third day. Peter says, "Lord, forbid it." This is when Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan," to Peter. Jesus then goes on to say that if you want to be my disciple, if you want to be my follower, you have to take up the cross and follow me. I want to say this is precisely where Christianity is not like paganism. Paganism requires something of us, say a service or an offering, to appease a god. But here, Christianity requires something of us, but it only requires something of us that God has done himself in Jesus Christ. When we pick up the cross and follow Jesus, that is the same cross that Jesus himself has picked up. It's not as if God is far away in the heavens demanding the sacrifice on our parts, not knowing what human pain and suffering is like. No, Jesus has suffered and has carried that pain and that cross with us. So that if we want to know God in our lives, if we want to grow closer to the divine within us, that means picking up the cross and following Jesus. It all makes sense. Even that word disciple, which oftentimes we refer to as follower, really means apprentice. Apprentice. As if we are learning the craft from the master craftsman, who is Jesus. And his master craft is compassion and service and love. And the way to hone our craft as apprentices is to pick up the cross, which might well entail suffering and service for the Lord God. There's a lot going on here in this passage. And I want all of you to think about the ways that Jesus is asking you to pick up that cross in perfect service and in humility. And to remember then that it's not because God is angry at us and requires that pain from us, requires us to hurt ourselves. But God is only asking us to do that because God has done it before, and that carrying the cross is the way for us to know Jesus in our own lives. Would love to hear what you have to think about that. Please send me an email or drop a comment here in the comment section.